Hi, friend, and welcome back to the Grace Filled Mom podcast. This is a space where we're learning to walk through motherhood with a little more grace and a little less pressure to have it all figured out. I'm really glad you're here today. Today, I want to talk about something that I think a lot of us need to be reminded of, especially in this season of motherhood. Where God meets you. Because if I'm honest, there have been seasons where I felt like my time with God didn't look the way that I thought it was supposed to. And I don't know if you've ever felt that too, like you want it to be consistent, you want it to be quiet, you want it to feel meaningful, but your life doesn't always leave space for that. We tend to picture time with God a certain way: quiet, still, uninterrupted, maybe sitting with your Bible open, a journal nearby, a cup of coffee, and everything just feels calm. And those moments are beautiful, but they're not always realistic in motherhood, because sometimes motherhood doesn't look quiet at all. There were seasons where I felt like I was in the car more than I was at home, driving one child to practice, taking another to dance, dropping one off and heading straight to the next thing to get the other one, going from one activity to another all day long. Sometimes we were eating snacks in the car, sometimes grabbing dinner at a track meet, sometimes sitting at a ball field with other families eating in between games. And I can remember thinking, I don't even have a minute to myself. By the end of the day, I was completely exhausted. And in those seasons, I felt like life just kept moving. And the time I wanted to spend with God kept getting pushed aside. Not because I didn't care, but because I was just trying to keep up. And I think a lot of moms feel like that. You want to make time. You want it to look different. But life keeps filling the space. And before you know it, God is the one who gets pushed to the side, even though He's the one we need the most. But what I've learned is that God was never asking me to find Him outside of that life. He was right there in it. He meets you when you're loading the dishwasher and your mind finally slows down enough to talk to Him. He meets you. When you're driving your kids somewhere and something is weighing on your heart and you just start praying out loud, He meets you. When you're sitting beside your child and you don't know what to say, so you quietly ask God to give you wisdom, He meets you. God isn't waiting for perfect conditions to meet with you. He's already there, right in the middle of your day, right in the middle of motherhood. And I think sometimes we miss that because we're looking for Him in a very specific way. We're looking for a perfect quiet time, a perfect routine, perfect moment. But motherhood isn't built on perfect moments. It's built on real ones. And God is not limited to a quiet room. He's present in your car, at the ball field, in the middle of conversations, in the middle of chaos. There have been so many times for me where the most real conversations I've had with God weren't planned. They happened in the middle of something, in the middle of a hard moment, in the middle of feeling overwhelmed, in the middle of not knowing what to do. Sometimes it looks like this. Lord, I don't even know what to say right now, but I need you. Or, God, help me respond the right way in this moment. Or even just, Jesus, please help me. And that's enough. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be perfectly worded. It doesn't have to sound like anything other than what it is. Real. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to have this structured, consistent, perfect time with God. And while structure can be helpful, it's not the only way we connect with Him. Motherhood changes your rhythms. It changes your schedule. It changes your quiet, but it doesn't change your access to God. And maybe, what if, instead of feeling like we're not doing enough spiritually, we start recognizing how often we are already inviting God into our day? Because every time you pause and say a quick prayer, every time you ask for wisdom, every time you thank Him for something small, that's connection. There's a verse that comes to mind, Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord Himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That means you don't have to go looking for Him. He's already with you. So, when your faith looks different in this season, when it feels less structured, less quiet, less consistent than you would like, it doesn't mean God is distant. It just means your life looks different right now. And maybe God is meeting you in a different way than you expected. Not less, just different. And I think there's something really comforting about that, because it means your relationship with Him isn't dependent on your circumstances being perfect. It's built in the middle of your real life. So if you ever felt like, I'm not doing enough spiritually, I don't have the time I used to have, I wish this looked different, I want to gently remind you of this. God is still right there with you. He hasn't moved. He hasn't pulled away. He hasn't stepped back from your life. He is meeting you in your everyday motherhood, in your real moments, in your honest prayers. And those moments matter more than you think. So, this week, as you're driving, as you're running from one thing to the next, as you're sitting in the middle of the noise and movement, don't miss Him. He's there, right in the middle of it with you. You don't have to step out of your life to find Him. He's already in it. I'm really glad you were here today. And I hope this reminds you that even in your busiest, most exhausting seasons, God is closer than you think. I look forward to talking to you again soon.